Late night downtown, all I see is morning. I just need me a cup of coffee and damn I'm hungry. Let me slow down, take this exit, gotta hit the office. Gotta calculate some data, gotta make some offers. What's the value, what's the price, and what's the latest move? Who is buying, who is selling, it's just purely business. Got my money making babies, just deliver triplets. Analyzing all these assets, I just pick and choose. Time is money, yeah you bugging, time is time. 24/7, no off time, I chase a quota. Every second of my day is truly by design. You can stack up all that jewelry, I'm about the ocean. I'm talking Teslas, big Benzes and Edge clashes, E-clashes and Bitcoin, I stay cashless. If I ain't got it, I will get it, I aim that way. If I ain't got it, I will get it, I aim that way. Used to slip up on the floor, now I'm beach bumming. How they looking at me like I hit my peak or something. I met my demons and I fought them, now we sleeping something. They done took me out the dungeon, said a reaper coming. Think about it, write it down, then I execute it. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. Pick a go and get it done, I gotta execute them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. I had to bring my girl around to see how they feeling. Everybody felt the test, what a feeling. Now I'm hearing that they bums and they hella broke. And I ain't talking about your money, I'm talking about your soul. Yeah, man. Just like that, man. Back again. Ain't nothing too crazy, man. So, all glory be to God. Ain't none of this possible with the man up above. You dig, man? Let me send this invite link to the homie real quick, man. Yeah. One second, man. Yeah. Technology be tripping. Yeah. Yeah, man, back again, man. It's 3:02 a.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. And you know, bright as hell. It's hopefully it's one good session, man. It's been dead, you know, past couple minutes. I'm gonna figure this thing out real quick before we get started up in here, man. But London session is open though. Yeah, man. Do something like this. I'm just waiting for this thing to load up real quick. And now we can get going, man. Yesterday I took a L. We're gonna review that, and then I'm gonna go over like what legs are important to pay attention to. But yeah, man, like I said, man, all glory be to God. Ain't none of this possible without the man up above. You dig? It's 3:05 a.m. on Friday. You know, it's been one hell of a week. You know, price action lately hasn't really been too extravagant, opposed to like how it was a couple months ago. You know, a couple months ago, it was really moving. As you can see, it was really moving. And then as of late, you feel me, had a good little drop down move, and it's kind of just been like past couple weeks. But you know, couple days full of really these 2 days right here of some good movement. But London has been Londoning, tell you that much, bro. Put this thing up real quick. But yesterday's price action wasn't that crazy. It wasn't too crazy. It had came off the POC, the price day. I think it was Wednesday's point of control. It came off of that pretty nice, man. Like that, it had came off that gap pretty much off the 50%. You know, came in ranging at a certain level where, you know, the sellers were coming through, and they couldn't really break that, you know, quote unquote resistance level up here. And the first 15 minutes of London session, right, it was to the downside. You know, we did disrespect this gap inside of here. So off rip, you had that momentum to the downside within the range, you know, and then we had broke out of the range with a gap showing you that there's momentum to the downside and that sellers have control of the market at that point in time. And then you create that low, right? Like right out the gate of London. You feel me? So that already set the tone. And as you can see, we had consolidated, price had consolidated, you know, and then we had hit the downside pretty much heavy as hell, man. And after that move, as you can see, we just ranged out. And you know, there was a couple opportunities off the gap. You know, we had to create another gap after breaking the low. So this was a low that I was looking at. And in this gap, you know, when I go into the 1 minute, I had wrote some things down. But let's stick to the 5 minute though. The 1 minute got a lot of different things on that chart, man. Why's my Wi-Fi not Wi-Fi? Alright, but yeah though, so coming into the 5 minute, we had came down heavy, right? And as you can see on the 5 minute, we had that good bar coming in. So you had some opportunity coming you know, off of that level. But, you know, pretty much consolidation for the end of the day, you know, going in today. So, you know, what levels I was paying attention to? Well, what are the levels that I was paying attention to? The 513 was a key level. You know, because if I'm taking this range right here, we had dipped out of it. And then that first retracement up, I'm taking that, I'm taking note of that price. And off of that price, you had this down move, that down move. You know, we had, you know, came up off of that, but then we had came down from there. So this low was very important, if not for nothing, because we had came out of that that range heavy, created that low, and at that low we had created a gap with a big down bar. So what is the behavior at this price? You feel me? Straight selling. What's the behavior at this price once you break that low and these intermediate lows? Straight selling. What's the behavior coming out of the range? Straight sellers. So it's not a coinkydink, you feel me? It's not a coincidence that you get strong selling coming off of the PO, like coming off of the point of control. You feel me? So yesterday was one hell of a day. This is a huge move right here, man. Huge move. We're talking about 130 some points. You feel me? The next bigger move was like what, 230, I think. Oh, 300. 300, you feel me? 300-point move on Nasdaq, man. So right now, the market is doing what it's doing. But before we get into that, man, we're gonna take a little break, take a little break, take a little commercial break, and then we'll come back and get into this concept of how we could look at certain type of legs, man. So with that being said, let's go ahead and play this, little commercial. Yeah. Playing the long game doesn't look impressive in the beginning. There's no big moment. There's no clear signal that it's working. And from the outside, it looks like someone doing the same thing over and over again. And that's exactly why most people never stay in it long enough to actually see it work. And if you've been following this series, everything that we've been talking about leads to this point. Because this is where people either stick to the system that they created or go back to chasing quick results. Think about everything that we covered: discipline, structure, environment, energy, capacity. None of these things look impressive on a daily basis. Waking up early doesn't look impressive. Going to the gym consistently doesn't look impressive. Following your trading plan doesn't look impressive. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's unimpressive. But what most people don't understand is this: the long game is designed that way. Because if it looked exciting all of the time, it wouldn't filter people out. It's supposed to feel slow. It's supposed to feel like nothing is happening. Because what's actually happening is everything is compounding underneath the surface. Your thinking is changing. Your behavior is changing. Your standards are changing. And eventually, that becomes visible. So here's something that you can take with you today. Stop asking, does this look like it's working? And start asking, am I still following the system that I committed to? Because a long game doesn't reward speed, it rewards consistency. And consistency only works if you stay in it long enough when it doesn't look impressive. Same system, different day. This is Curated Currency. Yeah, man. So, yeah, with that video, man, stay in it for the long run, man. Stay in it for the long haul. You don't know what's gonna come. You don't know what you're gonna think of. You don't know what you're gonna come up with. You don't know about nothing what's gonna happen in the next 35 minutes of your life, let alone a day or 2 weeks from today. But to get into what legs are important, right? You don't want to take every single black dot and green dot as the holy grail, or as the answer, right? So if I'm looking at this leg right here, right, this is an actual leg. There's no legs in here. This isn't a leg, right? This isn't a leg. It's a little push up, but this is not a leg though. This is a leg to pay attention to because we had a small little pullback, a little bit of support, and a leg up. This right here, just a straight move leg up, So this is a leg to pay attention to, which is why I got this box here, which is my workspace. And this workspace works as, a range as well. This is a black dot, green dot. This isn't a leg to really pay attention to, because we didn't create that next upper leg. If we did, then okay, cool. We could go ahead and, do that. This black dot, green dot, this isn't a leg. You feel me? This isn't a leg. It's like a little move up. This right here, this is a leg to pay attention to, right? Because you had that little small pullback. And this is on the 15-minute chart, right? And this is something that I pay attention to on the 15-minute chart. I wouldn't mark no legs or nothing like that, or ranges on nothing less or nothing, lower than a 15-minute chart. So on the 5-minute chart is where I'm looking to, execute. But on the 15-minute is where I'm marking all of the main prices and all of the main ranges. So on the 15-minute chart is a chart that I'm really paying attention to. So this is a leg to pay attention to. It's not highlighted for whatever reason, but this is a workspace right here. Right there, there's your workspace. If we come back, we come up, and then we ultimately come down heavy for whatever reason, off of these highs. Black dot, green dot, this isn't a leg, but this became a range. And a range that price came out of, and then now ultimately we're thinking I'm seeing it could maybe come back down. But if not, if we go back into the range, I mean, damn. But you know, this leg right here is not a leg, but it became a range. This is not a leg, you know, more so consolidation. So there's just certain legs to pay attention to. Like, you know, this isn't really a leg. It's just a big push up. You know, you wouldn't really highlight that leg. Now you would highlight this leg right here. You know, we come up. You know, we are at, you know, these lows and whatnot. We go into the lows. You know, after breaking some lows, black dot, green dot come up. Bars are present. Come up, we consolidate, we come back down. You feel me? Like, this is a whole leg up, and then we have that retrace back down. This isn't that intricate as far as this one is, right? So identifying these legs, you know, it's not really a leg for you to like pull up and then pull up the Fibonacci on here. This isn't a leg to do that with. This is a leg to do that with, but as you can see, we are in the range. This is a leg. This is not really a leg. This is a internal range, which is why it's marked yellow. But internal range marked yellow. These are internal ranges. But this is your overall leg, though. Right, which is your workspace. I just highlighted it a different color because we were already in the range from here. So I highlighted a different color so I could see, like, all right, this is that leg. You feel me? To pay attention to. So yeah, I could put it back yellow. Internal B. All right, so boom. There's your leg there to pay attention to. So as you can see, there's only certain this internal range or range coming up, internal range. There's only certain legs to pay attention to, you know, and when you're within the range like such on the higher time frame, you know, you could put up the legs or whatever to pay attention to, but there's really not much to pay attention to. This is just a move up, and I'll go over that too with today's price action. But since, you know, London session is over, the first 15 minutes of the session is over, let's break down today's price action. But before we get into that, take a cool little break, you know, watch this good little video that I got marked up, man. A red room. I love my red room shits, man. Very, very psychological, you know, in my opinion. So let's run this little break real quick, and then we'll get into tonight's price action to see, you know, what's in store for us, man. Let's run it. Yo, man, you ever feel like you're doing everything right, but for some reason you just still feel behind? But everybody. That's not the real measurement, man. Shit, that's easy for you to say. No, it just took me longer to realize it. So what, you just stopped caring, or? No, I stopped asking the wrong question. What does that even mean, bro? You keep asking, am I ahead yet? Because those things matter. Not as much as you think. So what's the right question then, man? Can I maintain this? Maintain what? Structure, clarity, consistency for one. Anybody can feel good for a night. So that's it. Just routines and discipline forever. You say that like stability is a punishment, man. That's the problem, man. You try to become someone without trying to sustain the person. You talking like you lived this before. I did. Talking like you lived this before, because I did. I did live that before. Nah, man, but going into today's price action, you feel me? The first 15 minutes of the session has completed. All right, so I'm gonna bend my lip. First 15 minutes has completed. So, you know, going into the 5 minute, let's see what we got going on, man. Boy, crazy. Let's see what we got going on, man. So to the upside. You feel me? But the move isn't that extravagant though, man. I'm talking about 48 points off the open. We in this range though, right? We are in that leg. We are in that range. So we did dip out of it though, right? So then we did create some liquidity here. So off rip, I was gonna put a line there. They talking about 29,205 sharks. I don't know. We're gonna find out though. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. We gotta hit the whoop wop on that price came up. Price come up here, taking out these highs here. It's not a coinkydink that it came off of that inventory zone, right? So that's something to pay attention to. Bitch. And then we'll go over the origin right now. So inventory zone. This here. And it's crazy because on the indicator you got that black level, and we are above yesterday's point of control, right, which is here. The price came into that immaculately. Price respected the inventory zone from yesterday twice, and now we created that leg, you know, coming out of, you know, this area, breaking this high. We are now above the gap, you feel me? So the buyers are taking control of the market right now. This is the point of control from 2 days ago. So that's something to pay attention to. So what do we pay attention to in here, right? So if we are breaking this high in the 5 minute, right, this is a pause in the market, this candle. Bitch. Alright, so that's a pause in the market, right? Pause in the market. Well, this is really a pullback because we broke them lows. Wicked below them lows. We actually broke them lows. So this is your, you know, quote unquote leg. It's still trying to complete itself. On the lower time frame, they'll get a black dot, green dot, and then you have that pullback, right? So I pull up the Fibonacci. Now this is all internal, not external. If I pull up the Fibonacci, we came off some levels. But if I'm looking at the Fibonacci for extensions, right, we had came out of that first extension. This is the second extension. And it's not a coincidence that the second extension lines up with the top of this, you know, leg right here. It lines up with the top of that leg damn near immaculately. You feel me? So very, very interesting to say the least, right? So if this is the leg that we are paying attention to, because we broke these highs, man. We broke 2 highs right here. Now, if the buyers are really like that, if they built like that, if they got the bag like that, you feel me? Then they should be able to take out this high. You know, they should be able to take out this high. If they don't take out this high, then, you know, this could be a good area to sell, in my opinion. You know, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only, indeed. But the buyers really gotta prove themselves, man. We've been coming down bad. You know, this is a range right here. So this is a pause. You know, from this down move, this is a pause. It's a huge pause, a huge range. But nonetheless, it's a pause in the market. Right, you have a gap up here that hasn't been tested, a fair value gap. Now, I don't trade the gaps like, oh, this is where it needs to go, whatever. I just look at it as, this is a price range where the sellers were more dominant than buyers. So if we come up into this area, this quote unquote fair value gap, this gap, if you come into that, I want to look at the behavior. Is the buyers coming in? Is the sellers coming in? How did we react to that? Just like any other thing, like a daily high or whatever. Like, how are we reacting to that in real time? A yellow level. You feel me? And we have went through that. So we're going through a lot of different levels. We're staying above levels, but this was like that key area to get in based on the inventory zone. But when it wicks out like this, right, when it comes below this right here, I'm not saying it always happens, but I expect it to go above, create some type of high, and then come all the way back down, bro. So that's what I'm waiting for. So right here for this session, for London session today, I want to see us go above this range, create some type of high, and then once I see a transition in the lower time frame, I will try to see how I could execute. Right here on the 1 minute, and just specifically looking at today's price action on the 1 minute, we can go into that. Alright, so this is your 1 minute window, man. Your 1 minute look. And we can't really pull up no Fibonacci or nothing like that, or do nothing like that unless on the 15 minute. We have some type of leg. We don't have no leg right now. I would look at like leg for the buyers, in my opinion, because we have resisted this area, right? So this your first leg out where it came from sellers to now the buyers did come through, but this was a high that they needed to take out. Sellers came through, they couldn't break a low. Buyers is coming up. So once the buyers create a high, come down or pause or whatever, we need to create another thing up, create an actual pullback, and then I'm like, okay, cool, buyers are in control now. Let's see if we take out that high. Okay, cool, now they really in control now. But right now, who in control of the market? The sellers. So, So let's go into this 1 minute, and let's see who doing what at what price. So pause in the market. So when I see a pause in the market like this, when I see a pause in the market like this, it tells them that people agree, like they agreed at that moment in time for a little bit. They agreed here for a little bit, and then price came up. When people are agreeing at certain prices, that's a good thing. They like that price. When price starts coming down like this, coming up crazy, you may want to pay attention. Going into this gap, this is what I call potential whoop wop. So this is a good example on the live market, what a whoop wop could be. Now this could be a pause in the market. We come down. Now there is a gap right here, right on a black dot, green dot, and then we have a gap right here. Gap. Did the music play out? Gotta restart the music. we got that gap right here off the, part of the first 15 minutes, but we had that gap in there. So can we respect that gap to come to the upside? Off the New York Open, there was a high that was broken, right? Here's your high that was broken. So this is a key thing, because off the open, the buyers took out the people who was like, the buyers came in and took out a price that people were selling at. So good information. And at that price, we have a little stall, but we have a gap right here that we could come into the test. But how I look at it is that you have a bunch of buyers coming in where sellers were at. You feel me? We agreed at this price comes up heavy enough to where a lot of buyers came into the market, and then buyers respected that price and created new highs, right? Boom. So then we created a high. But then we had hit a price for whatever freaking reason, and then we had came down heavy for whatever reason. Don't know why, but it did though. And now we're just chilling. Trading isn't that hard. You feel me? Like, trading isn't that it's not that crazy. Now with my origin indicator, I have a black dot, green dot between this price, whatever that price is, and this price. So I may want to pay attention to this price to see how price behaves at that price, and at this price to see how price behaves at that price. But if not for nothing, I have this, internal leg that I could base the Fibonacci off of if I choose to. Now that's that's not a good way to do the Fibonacci in my opinion. I would do, on this 1 minute chart example, I would do the Fibonacci from down here. Boom. Top here. Right. That's what I'll do. That's how I'll do the Fibonacci. And as you can see, we're sitting high on that Fibonacci. So because we're sitting high on the Fibonacci, the bars could come in, sustain it, and price come up. Or we could come back down into the Fibonacci and, do it that way. So that's the Fibonacci that I will use. But even on the 5 minute, this isn't really something that you will put the Fibonacci on, because this is just a pause in the market, right? This is just a pause on the higher time frame. On the lower time frame, it looks like a reverse or some shit or whatever. But really, realistically speaking, this is just a small little movement on the higher time frame. It's nothing to be concerned about. As you can see though, live, I don't know why I said it like that, but bars are coming in heavy. That's crazy off of this. But like I said, the initial plan was, we want to get above this range, have a high be created, and then see how the sellers come in. But that's insane though, to understand that. See how it came off that gap. So people talking about, ICT, BCT, whatever, fair value gaps don't work or whatever. Bro, as you can see, it came off that fair value gap. Hit the tizop for like 30 points in 2 minutes. These gaps got something to them. You feel me? Now, if we create structure above here, this is just key information for when we do create that high. And it's always, Gucci to see what levels are coming up. Could extend this over just to have that visually on the chart. But yeah, man, ranging and shit like that. Market, man, Nasdaq been Nasdaq. I ain't gonna lie to you. The hardest thing about trading, not gonna lie to you, is sitting with yourself. A lot of people don't like to sit with themselves. They don't like to come up with the idea, and just sit with themselves. There's not really much to do besides analyzing. But the black dot, green dot came in. If you break this green dot high, then the buyers are in control. This is showing that the buyers are coming in. Black dot, green dot come in. So, I wouldn't want to buy this though, because look at the location. Black dot, green dot showing that buyers are in control. Our buyers are entering the market. But where are we at for location? We are at resistance. We're at resistance. So this would be Gucci and cool if we broke above these highs and we had this same picture just above here. Then it'd be a little bit different. But because we are at resistance and because we are coming down heavy, I'm not, really convinced that the buyers control this market. And as you can see, as of right now, we have that potential whoop wop on the table. Price rejected the top, rejected the high, and it's coming below the gap. It's coming below the gap. It is coming below the gap. But yeah, it's coming below the gap though, man. So let's see how this thing plays out. And it's good to read to learn how to read candles, like candlesticks in general. This candle is telling you that the buyers came in heavy. Indecision candle, and then the straight down candle. So are these buyers really dead? And then you have buyers coming in again, rejection at the top. Sellers are prices coming down or whatever, and we can't break this low as of yet. But so at this point in time, at 324 whatever, 326 the sellers come in, but then buyers come in, at 333 type situation, and they're holding price. So yeah, the sellers might have came in or whatever. They're coming in again, but so just reading candlesticks too. There's certain candle formations to look for at certain levels, but to learn how to read candlesticks. So right here we have one candle and prices within that one candle. This one candle, prices within that one candle. So what does this mean? It means that the market participants agree at this overall, whatever the average of this price is, at 443, 444, 445, like at 444, 445, 440s, 445, 450s. You feel me? 440s, 445, 450s. They like that as of now. Until somewhere in the order book there's a deficiency or some type of offset between orders, and then we'll see price come up heavy or come down heavy. So who is buying or selling the market at 3:39 p.m. or a.m.? Who? We don't know. Obviously nobody, as you can see. Nobody, as you can see. Gap on the 15. So the gap, before coming into these highs is a good thing for those buyers to come in on the 1 minute. So because the gap on the 15 black dot, green dot. If this is a pause in the market, depending on how we break these highs, or depending on how low we come, this could be a good buy, because the buyers are showing you that they enter the market not only here, but on the 15 minute. This is that quote unquote opening gap. What's good, man? Go for short. So what I was saying was this right here is a pause in the market. So I get what you're saying. I'm looking for a short as well, but I'm looking for that short above here, even at these levels up here, bro. So on the 5 minute, we have support. So I wouldn't want to short at 5 minute support. You feel me? I wouldn't really want to do that. Which is giving me that, thinking process of, and then we got another black dot green dot. So with my indicator, once I get a black dot green dot, that's letting me know that the buyers have entered the market. Black dot green dot, we come up. 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 Black dot green dot, it fell, but I mean, it's not always fucking at one, but black dot green dot, can we break this green dot high? Black dot green dot, it's in a range. So, but this is where buyers are coming in with volume. So whatever happened, the delta meter is telling me that a lot of orders came in for whatever reason. So on this candle, a lot of orders came in. On this candle, a lot of orders came in too. So my indicator is based on, you could look at the code or whatever on tradingview.com under the indicators tab, right? And look at the code or whatever, but it's based on volume and certain price action. So black dot, green dot in the market is pausing. This may be a good situation to buy, but stops below the low. But it's risky though, because it's a 5 minute range. I don't know. I could put a short position, and then the stops would be above the high, right? Or where's the stop at for the short? My stop would be above the high, but ain't no way, man. I like this situation because if we could come below this low and respect this low, hey man, that short working out, man. Little 16-point drop ain't nothing too crazy. That might be the drop that is needed. There's a lot of liquidity right here. I hate the word liquidity. There's a lot of, what's it called? A lot of lows right here. And then you have sellers come through below those lows and hit the whoop wop to the upside. Took some lows, hit the whoop wop to the upside. So that's another thing too. Can we take some lows? Can we take some lows and then hit the whoop wop to the upside? The whoop wop, call it the whoop wop. Yeah, I do trade Forex, but we're not looking at no Forex, man. Trading Nasdaq and might even pull up gold, but focusing on Nasdaq for London session, man. Yeah, I look at odd USD and GJ, bro. GJ, son. GJ hitting the bottom of that bit, man. That's crazy. Gold is consolidating. Bitcoin consolidating. So if these buys come in, I'm willing to, press the button. Cause we creating support right here. We creating support. You feel me? This is something I was looking for. So I'm gonna take this entry. But wait for the sellers to come through. So 445. That is there. So we in there like swimwear at 445.50. And then my stop. Yeah, we'll see if price comes into these levels and then we'll see what's up. Then we got that gap too. You know what I'm saying? That is letting us know that it went into that direction, with momentum. But we'll see what happens. Don't come off the woo-wop. Don't come off the woo-wop. So the key thing is that we cannot break these two lows. If we break these two lows, then we just in jeopardy at that point. See this thing play out. You know what's crazy, bro? I don't know why I'm nervous right now. I think it's because I'm live or something, but I'm never like nervous, bro. It's crazy, bro. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this, bro. It's in the 5 minute, we just ranging, man. So it's not a good entry, but there's no buts. In my notes on the 1 minute, we did have that structure. Coming off of that, that London momentum with that range right there. With that gap, and then looking at the 1 minute time frame. Sellers came in, we did create support, right, where the sellers did take control again. We have wick below, these candles, black dot, green dot coming in, showing you that the buyers are entering the market. We have this gap in here that this big ass candle respected, you know what I'm saying? Black dot, green dot showing that buyers are entering the market, black dot, green dot showing that the buyers are entering the market. But this is 1 minute price action. You feel me? But nonetheless, though, we're getting this type of setup. We have this low to pay attention to. You feel me? If we respect this low in here, that's something that we could have on our side. Black dot, green dot, this is that ultimate low. So if we come into this blue level, I'm looking to take my money out the market. Really, like, realistically speaking, because this is a decision level. I do not want to be in a decision level. Now, we could wick below some lows, and respect some candle lows right here. That could be a scenario. Hopefully that is the scenario. But we have some levels in here. We got some levels in here. We got this low here to quote unquote protect this position. So let's see how this thing plays out. Hopefully it gets through this little whoop wop area. But as you can see, we had went into the whoop wop and then we had came out of that whoop wop. So hopefully, we could come back into this, because if there's a whoop wop works out, the market's gonna hit the whoop wop and it's gonna come to the downside. I'm looking for shorts, like I said, above this range. Alright, above this gray box, but above that range. And then I'm looking for buys, below these lows and in this area, probably back at this inventory, so I'm looking for buys. So I'm not looking for shorts up here. I'm not really looking for shorts until we break this low or break this quote unquote gap. But then I wouldn't really be looking for shorts, necessarily speaking, because we have this inventory zone. We have this yesterday's point of control and a blue level to uphold price. So really, I'm not really looking for sales. This is what I'm trying to say. I was looking for buys and then looking for sales. Looking for buys and stuff within the range, right? But then outside of this range, I'm looking to sell. That's why I have my take profit up here somewhere. This isn't my take profit level. This is just up there. Now this is my stop loss area though. My take profit, I kind of leave that on the table, but my take profit, would be something like at key highs like such, even at this range high. But if I'm risking, I'm looking to risk about 20 points on this trade, or like 30 points, 20 points, my it's Nasdaq. Looking to risk about 30 points, right? So around 30 points, I'm looking to break even, which is a little bit above the high, but break even, I'll take profit. So a good one-on-one trade, I try to get a little bit more than a little bit one-on-one, like a little bit over one-on-one. But that's my, level, my take profit, my quote-unquote take profit level. Now, if this leg works out, black dot, green dot, I could take this internal range, and I could pull up the Fibonacci. Right, inverse it, go down to the bottom of that, and then look at the extensions. So the first extension is right here, the second extension is up here, and the second extension lines up with the point of control from about 2 days ago. So price could come up and hit the second extension, which is at that point of control. That could be a thing. So I don't know, but that's what I would do to take profit. I'll look at look at the behavior at those prices. Or if I'm risking 30 points, at 30 points, I'm taking profit. So my whole model is hybrid, but my risk isn't a hybrid. If we come into here 50% of this level, or even come into here, I'm taking the loss, bro. Price is still valid. This is just Nasdaq doing what Nasdaq do, just consolidating. We're just consolidating. And price isn't coming down heavy, which is Gucci, you know. But let's see how this thing works out. Take a good little break, you know, a good little last minute break, and then we'll go ahead and close it out for today's session, man. So let's take a little break, and then we'll see how this trade plays out. Arizona 520 shit. Yeah. Desert baby, had to learn to shine with no shade. Heavy bad swinging, moving like I'm knowing something. Southpaw jab, back up like a bad trade. Everybody got a plan until they cascade. Road work done, cardio pay dividends. I don't throw emotions, only combinations. Most these boys is in the net, I got repetition. Pressure make diamonds, pressure make decisions. Punch count, how you investing in the outcome. You was at the kickback, I was getting rounds done. Hands move different when you really come from nothing. Clock still ticking, I can't start running. Problem looks small when confidence is oversized. Same money face, I lose, I monetize. Some on attention, some on the legacy. I'm throwing left hooks and right on energy. I put my life on the line, I keep my head in them books. I gotta thank for these riches, I gotta thank for them hooks. Had to thank for these women, but now I'm letting them cook. You better catch me alone, you see me, don't look. But I gotta connect, and I have to relate. I have to give you my heart, and let you study my burn. I have to keep you smiling and keep on knowing you're great. Can I help you love you? We could trade and create. Baby, precious, peaceful, baby, and pleasure is pain. Life ain't gotta be hard, it's about the picture you paint. Just stay inside the lines, I promise you'll be straight. And read between the lines. Get crazy, man. Yeah. In case this thing get crazy. But, you know, Nasdaq be Nasdaqing. Understand that. That's something about Nasdaq that I wish was a little bit different. You know, Nasdaq be Nasdaqing. And what I mean by that is that you can't really be timing it how you really want to time it sometimes. I think that's what all currency pays. You know, you can't really time it. But what I mean by Nasdaq be Nasdaqing is that it don't be doing nothing and then it be doing something. You feel me? Like, it don't be doing nothing and then it be doing something. And when it does something, it does something. You know? We got another black dot, green dot popping up, which is in our favor. But we still haven't got above that woo-wop area. We're coming up to that 4 o'clock candle, that 4 o'clock hour, in about, 30 something seconds. So some volatility could enter the market. So let's see how this 4 o'clock opens, and hopefully hits the upside. We are also above the moving average. So oh yeah, man, the music and the sounds that you hear during all of these streams is produced by DJ Cyril. More on that to follow. If we come
back below that whoop wide. It's not gonna be good, man. Alright, so 4 o'clock candle was here. Let's see if we can get some momentum, man. If we could come up into these prices up here, that'll be perfect. So we up some profit. But we're risking about 34 points, 35 points. So we want at least 35 points, bro. This is the overall Fibonacci. We broke that high. Well, we're breaking that high. If we close above it, that's Gucci. If we don't close above it, then it's gonna be kind of crazy. But taking the Fibonacci from this high to this low. The first extension is right there. So can it hit the first extension? And then now seeing that we broke that high, right? The stop is not here no more. It's below here. So we just reduce risk. And then that makes this trade now a higher risk on return. Because at first we're risking 34, 35. And now we're risking 22. But we're still going for that 35 point profit. So we're risking less than 25 points. The market's going to do what the market does, man. Now, if we break this high, we should be A-okay. Now, I really want to get into the point of control. That's where I really want to get into it. But above the range somewhere and creating some type of high is where I want to get out. As soon as we pause for real above this high, then I'm out the market. Now, once we break that candle high, it's a break-even trade. Break, bitch. And if we react heavy to anywhere in here, we're gonna have some problems. If we stay above there though, should be okay. Now we quite really didn't get above that high, so it's not a break-even trade just yet. But once we break above that high and close above that high, it's a break-even trade. Because really in this trading thing, you're managing capital, but you're managing risk. So I was risking 35. Now I'm risking 25 or even 22, 23. That already in itself is a win. That's managing a position. Once we break this high, the high that they created, then the buyers or the price or the participants, the market participants shouldn't come into these lower prices again if we break the high that they created on its own. So right now what we're doing is that we are testing this high. This is a test, right? This is one candle. So this is a pause in the market. I would call this a no trade zone, but it sucks for us because that's where our down entries at. So we could come down out of this pause, like this little pause, and come back up, or it could just respect this whoop wop and then keep on coming down and hit the stop. That's a crazy reaction though off that high right there though. That's crazy. that's crazy. That's a crazy candle. That's a crazy candle. Told you Nasdaq be Nasdaq. Oh my god, bro. Should I take the reduced stop? Look, this is what I'm contemplating. Hear me out. A bunch of lows. Hopefully, we could grab these lows, bro, and hit the whoop up. If not, I'm getting on. That's crazy, though. That's a crazy 2 minutes. There's that Nasdaq for you. Alright. This look like it's about to be a L. In 7 minutes though. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Get him. Yeah, look, about to take this L, man. At least, I know as to why I got into the trade. And that's what's the word? That's very important. So my stop is actually at 402. I was not risking 35. I thought I was risking 35. 402. Oh, 50% of the gap. Below 50% of that gap. Either way, it's not looking good, man. Yeah, risking about. But I'm only risking 0.5% on this trade, though. Yeah, I'm only risking 0.5% on this trade. It's just not looking good, man. But that's live market execution, man. More than likely this is gonna be a loss. It's gonna be an L in the book. It's a 0.5% loss on the account. We are still consolidating. We had hit the top, had a crazy reaction, and you can't. I told once we come off of this area here heavy, it's gonna look ugly. It is what it is, but we are in an uptrend, and I'm just going with the uptrend momentum off of that. London opening. The London opening did have a gap. We did create this blue level. The black dot, green dots are coming in. You know what I'm saying? We have the buyers coming in, at this whoop wop area, well, what I consider the whoop wop area, or just gap area in general, we were creating support. We had this huge candle coming in, at this gap area, at this support. So I'm thinking at this price range, at this point in time, that the buyers are in control. Now, while explaining this, the buyers did come back in. I was thinking I was going to get stopped out, but the buyers are coming in. Now, mind you, this is one candle, so we could still pause within here and then hit the downside. We're not safe. This trade is not safe, and as you could see, as soon as I be saying things, this is a gap in itself too. So, but yeah, man, so we'll see how this thing plays out tomorrow officially, and then but that is today's session, London session. Yawn. All glory be to God. Ain't none of this possible without the man up above. Tomorrow won't be live for London, right? But live for New York, but we'll be here for the New York session for tomorrow. But yeah, man, about to get stopped out. It was a good trading session though. It's good data. All right, man. Out the way. Love y'all.
Everybody wants a breakthrough, but no one talks about accumulation. A tree doesn't become a tree, it collects rings. A city doesn't become a skyline, it collects buildings. A reputation don't just appear, it collects decisions. Everything valuable collects. We celebrate the shot that goes in, but ignore the thousands that taught the hand where to finish. That's backwards, because the make was never the moment, the make was the receipt. The work had already happened. That's why I don't count days no more. I collect evidence. Evidence that I showed up, that I practiced, that I stayed curious. Evidence that I kept my word to myself, because eventually, evidence becomes identity, and identity starts to make those decisions for you. You stop asking, can I do it? Because you've collected too much evidence to think otherwise. So today, don't chase the result. Collect another receipt, one more rep, one more conversation, one more promise, because tomorrow you won't remember today's score, but you will become the person today's choices were building. Same system, different day. This is Curated Currency.